Aloha, y'all. I'm just getting this up. So the sun is in Libra. It's a Thursday, I should say. The sun is in Libra. The moon is in Capricorn. It's about to be Scorpio season, folks. It's 29 degrees, 38 minutes Libra. We're at the very end of Libra. So that's just what's going on in the collective. It is a Thor's Day, ruled by Thor. It is a Vishuddha chakra day or throat chakra day. I'll be clearing that out later. But today is Thursday, October 22nd. Blue crystal hand guided by self-generation in the Mayan dream spell. I can go ahead and say what that is about now. I'm a little drained, so if I'm not 100%, that's why. So, daily dream spell, right? 22nd of October, blue crystal hand, throat chakra, like I was saying. It's Blue Hands Tribe is about knowledge, accomplishment, and healing. The gift of your cosmic identity is to be a vessel of intrinsic knowing, a wielder of both worldly and mystical power, an agent of healing forces and compassionate insight, an instrument of transformation and accomplishment, a builder of the new world. As a blue hand, you have the capacity to be a gateway of healing, to activate the power of your human hands as tools of blessing, creativity, and actualization, to be holistically wise and practically resourceful, to contribute your skills towards achieving a common well-being, to express your deepest knowing through your gifts, to develop mastery of your craft, uniting knowledge with embodied guidance, to be in touch with the many dimensions of healing that can come from sources beyond the physical, to contemplate the nature of accomplishment on a soul level, to discover the rich healing that can be accomplished through the sincerity of your intentions and heart-centered presence. Accomplishment from the heart is healing to the soul. Direction is west, transformation, chakra's heart, and planet is earth. And crystal tone 12, which is today, the blue crystal hand guided by self generation, tone 12. Dedication, universalization, and cooperation. Tone 12 represents the principle of complex stability, the crystallization of harmonized structure. The gift of your cosmic identity is to access the power of your synergy. Activate your crystal powers by being an instrument of higher order, by having comprehensive vision, by cooperating with your own higher self, by generating networks of positive energies, by enlivening the wisdom of the circle, intentionally bringing community together, by honoring and celebrating what each person brings to the collective energy, by collaborating and joining forces to energize causes you believe in, by staying dedicated to your deepest callings, by following the crystalline clarity of your heart, by expressing your earthly wisdom in a form that can be widely received, by extending the magic of your soul to the universe as a whole. The blue crystal hand, kin number 207 galactic affirmation, is I dedicate in order to know, universalizing healing. I seal the store of accomplishment with the crystal tone of cooperation. I'm guided by the power of self-generation. So Vishuddha Chakra Day, throat chakra, if you're going to do chakra balancing and stuff, do them all. But if you can only do one for some reason, do this throat, focus on that, do mudras, do mantras, behold the magic that is chakra meditation. You won't regret it. So Thor's Day feels like a Sunday for some reason to me. Don't ask. Been up since 5:30 and just a little drained already. So I've been power washing the house, and apparently there's leaks in the house because the floor was soaking wet last night in the bathroom in my in a study. So it's like what's going on there? We've got the Two of Cups. The last day of Libra, the last degrees of Libra, not inappropriate, going into Scorpio season real shortly. So twos are about balance, harmony. Cups are waters of emotions, intuition, sensuality, right? So very resonant with the last day of Libra season. And cups are about, if you're a Cancer, a Scorpio, or a Pisces, you're naturally going to resonate with that suit. Cups. Sorry, I'm spacing out. Radiating the pure essence of love, practicing Tantra and Taoist beliefs, becoming aware of the cosmic balance of male and female energy. Dare I say I'm aware of that today. Two of Cups. I merge with the beloved. If only I could. Long distance relationships are hard. The human form carries amazing capacity for blissful expression, bliss so vast, boundless, and immeasurable, it encompasses every possible word or definition ever invented. Both Tantra and Taoism teach that women and men are gifted the capacity to be multi-orgasmic, riding the waves of energy and pleasure to reach higher and higher peaks. Reaching these peaks, allowing an opening and surrender to one's true essence, the transcendental self, pure awareness, the divine. The Two of Cups reveals the beauty and the power created when two beings, two threads woven together, unite. The art depicts the lovers in tantric union, dynamic sexual energy supported by the power of intention, conscious surrender, and the skillful use of breath circulating through their bodies, received and given at their sex and their hearts, joins the two in a unified circuit of ecstatic color and light, blissfully bursting through them and out and beyond. They sit incongruously next to a high brick wall, a hole in it revealing another reality, one that sits behind what is normally experienced, and also a recurrent theme throughout the Starman, because there's more to the picture than meets the eye. There's always a little, we live in a 3D space, and there's like ecstatic realities too. It's all part of the one thing, but there's frequency bands, I guess you could say. So, in that reality, we see a golden caduceus, spiraling snakes, ancient sacred emblems of rebirth, winding around the staff of Apollo, god of healing. The Ankh adorns the top, the ancient Egyptian symbol of life, fertility, and union of the male and female gods Osiris and Isis, earth and sky. This is surrounded by the cosmic dance and connectivity of intelligence, the neuron web. At the heart of Tantra lies the idea of awakening Kundalini, a feminine dynamic energy depicted as a serpent lying dormant at the base of the spine. This energy can be awakened by cultivating sustained sexual energy and circulating it with loving presence, opening to your eternal and spacious nature, preserving the energy release of the small bodily orgasm. Kundalini is harnessed and shoots up the spine to the crown of the head, where it radiantly explodes as light. It then showers the body with the healing rain of love, ecstasies of the soul or consciousness. The Two of Cups, reflecting the lovers, and this is on page 144. I just was spacing on that. I was like, oh, okay. The Two of Cups, reflecting the lovers, invites you to not only look at the potential of a sexual union outside in the world, i.e. a lover or a partner, but to travel within, to become more conscious of the dynamic dance, embrace, and play of the inner feminine and the masculine energies that shape your life. Further, it seeks to make you aware of the potential dynamism and creativity birthed when two or more forces are drawn together, the union of entities or potentialities. These are ideas, talents, abilities, lovers, friendships, etc. This, in essence, is a magical key with which to manifest and live a powerful, radiant, creative life. Who you choose to spend your time with, exchanging ideas, feelings, and energy with, will either greatly enhance your ability to make things happen or diminish it. So choose wisely. Right? Two of Cups, partnerships in a very wet way. Cups, radiating the pure essence of love, practicing Tantra and Taoist beliefs, becoming aware of the cosmic balance of male and female energy. And like I said, for the last day of Libra season, super apropos. Yes, it is a beautiful card. I love David DeAngelis' cards. Starman Tarot, shout out. He's been on the podcast a few times. I'm going to get him back on with his wife at some point because they collaborated. This is David DeAngelis and Esther DeAngelis' work together. I think he did the art and she did the booklet, but I'm not sure how that exactly worked. Hence me wanting to get them back on the podcast. So today you might be finding your place in the polarity game and how to dance well with a partner. Thank God I am engaged to such a loving and powerful force. Shout out to my beau. She is the shit and my better half for sure. So let's go ahead and get a clarifier. Hopefully you're all doing well on this Thursday. We have The Youth. It's a great MGMT song. If you don't know, check it out. The Youth. I forget now how it goes, but it's a great song. It was directed by Tim and Eric, actually. Or Eric Wormheim, I'm pretty sure. Or it's very just Tim and Eric-y, I forget now. I'm spacing. But this is number 3. So we got the Two of Cups, and then we got the third, basically major arcana, the Youth. So what does it mean to be youthful? We shall find out. The Youth. Adventure, new horizons, excitement, independence, freedom, rebellion, impulsiveness, loyalty, and compromise. Key phrases: quest for adventure, living in the moment, action without thought, defying tradition and conformity, great risk, great reward. Assert your independence, embrace individuality, a new direction, freedom from fear and doubts, a time of conflict or turmoil, communication and compromise, and addressing desires. Sweet-faced and beguiling, the youth has left the security of home and hearth without a backward glance. He is alone, but confident in the knowledge that a loving and supportive family will be there if he has need of them. On a quest for adventure and discovery, he seeks the excitement of the new and unknown in distant lands. Following whispers and rumor, he takes risks with little thought or care. His choice is to live in the moment. The past is left behind, while thoughts of the future rest only as far as his next journey. Every adventure gives him a greater knowledge of the world and his place in it. Believing himself both immortal and infallible, he often acts spontaneously, using his charm and enthusiasm to win him favor and release him from strife. He rebels against sage advice to use restraint or caution. As far as the youth is concerned, the greater risk, the more rewarding the outcome. The only loyalty he shows is to those companions who journey with him. Those who are loyal to the quest will have his loyalty in return, while those who seek to curb and restrict him will be met with resistance. Those who share his passions and interests are, quote, right, while those who do not are, quote, wrong. There are no shades of gray. The youth sees all in black and white. The youth also seeks the freedom to find his own answers. Tradition be damned. Life is too short to follow in another's footsteps, and do things their way. The youth will do things his way without thought of consequences. His concern is for today. Tomorrow can take care of itself. Are you bored with the routine of your life? Do you stare out the window dreaming of something different, of change in a new direction? Do you express this need for change only to be met with platitudes, told if you focus on loving and appreciating what you already have that you will be happy? Or are you reminded of what you might lose if you make a radical change to your life, choosing to defy convention or rebelling against tradition? When you voice your need to do something more with your life, do people around you suddenly question their own importance, as if they should be held in higher regard than your own dreams and ambitions? Understand that we are ever evolving and transforming beings. Sometimes we develop new interests because they are meant to steer us in a new direction, to change and transform our lives in every way so that we may grow to reach our fullest potential. Sometimes these interests create an awareness that we are meant to leave the life we have and explore unexplored realms of possibility and opportunity. The new interests reveal that those who have grown together are now meant to grow apart. If the youth appears in the present, he represents a necessity to address a desire for change within your life and asks that you have the courage and determination to make your choice without allowing others to discourage you or steer you in a direction of their choosing. If you do not put your own interests first, the potential for greater unhappiness and conflict will increase. You have dreamed for long enough. Now is the time to act, even if it means leaving behind all that is safe and familiar, which I find interesting as a contradiction in a sense to the Two of Cups card. The sun is in Libra, so that's very Two of Cups. And then the moon is in Capricorn, which is very kind of like, I do it my way. I'm going to go achieve. I'm going to go climb these mountains and fucking do my thing, right? Hell, I don't care about y'all's opinion. Capricorn moon can be very like, I know what's right for me. Fuck y'all, right? Very independent. So we have this kind of popping really hard. We have union, and these people have to come together, I guess, in a sense, to create the tantra, to make the beauty and all this stuff. But he has to be fully himself, and she has to be fully herself, right? And the compromise is in the Trinitarian, there is no duality. It's a trinity. It's like they're individuals. There's the one and the two make the three, right? It's like magic of the esoteric. So you have to come at this authentically and with, life at your back, youth, possibility, openness. This is like the child, right? I mean, it's not the child in the most innocent sense, but this is like the child who's willing to be assertive and go see what they want, right? So we're at a point with the last degrees of Libra where we're finding what union really means, but we have to be individuals in that union, right? You don't lose. It's paradoxical. In a sense, you lose who you are in this union, but in a sense, you had to be your full self to come into this union to make the alchemy happen at first. If you came in half-assed, you're not going to have full alchemy, right? So you have to have gone through your trials and tribulations, major decisions. He'll mature one day. Like, he'll come to a place where he'll be like, oh my God, maybe every impulse isn't the best way, right? Like, but right now, this energy is clarifying to say, be impulsively yourself and be fully yourself, committed to your level in the alchemy, right? A plus B equals C. If A is like A 0.25, it's like almost A-ish, and B-ish don't make C. It's got to be full on, right? So this also means, I mean, in my own life, I'm an 11th house sun and moon Gemini. My fiance is an 11th house sun Virgo, with Jupiter conjunct exactly, right? So I think we're very independent people, and we have very independent, strong wills, and we have adventures to do together and alone. But at the same time, if we're not doing the things by ourselves, we won't come into union more as completely as possible, if that makes sense. That's why people who get married at a young age haven't found themselves, they're saying. And oh my God, I just had a bunch of babies and shit and I didn't know who I was. That's what they didn't go through the full initiation of what being a youth means. Being a youth means going on impulses, seeing the world in black and white, and then learning from those mistakes eventually, right? Because we're all part of an alchemical reaction. You aren't ever an individual. I mean, it's a paradox. You're an individual in a collective. So it's like what you do matters and affects others, but you have to become the element of creation that is specifically you so that you can come to the equation more fully, if that makes sense. I'm kind of rambling. My head is kind of everywhere right now. But seeking karmic balance, last day of Libra scales, right? Balance. Seeking karmic balance. Taoist tantric beliefs. Seeking karmic balance. Even individuating is a level of balance where it's like, I mean, even the Bible's like, cleave to your parents forever, but then like figure out your own shit. You can't just stay at home forever. Watch Pink Floyd The Wall and see how that goes. Like, mommy doesn't have all the answers, right? So sometimes we have to seek karmic balance, and that can look by externalizing and being individuals, but also being an individual in relationship with others. Just like this tapestry. Look, those are individual elements that come together as a whole, right? So 63 is Pleiades, seeking karmic balance, very apropos for the last day of Libra season. Seeking karmic balance, present timeline. As a fourth to fifth density species in this era, Pleiadians are now experiencing higher spiritual awakening. And you could say that's going from youth to more mature, right? They recognize their past imbalances and have gained a sincere intention to balance karma by recognizing all things happen for a reason and learning from their choices. There are no mistakes. You're always alchemizing. You're always in tantra with life in a sense. But don't just always repeat your mistakes. Like, go to new pastures, try new adventures, push the boundaries. Break traditions to form your own traditions. See how that works? It's this Ouroboros. It's like, oh, fuck that, I'm going to rebel. Oh my gosh, now I'm the old guard. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss, right? So it's like you're going to go for this period of individuation. That's why youth is so like frantic and like, I'm going to do drugs, sex, and rock and roll. And then at some point they're like, I'm going to be conservative now. I think Ben Franklin was one who said, like, if you're conservative and you're young, like, you have no heart. But if you're liberal and you're old, you have no head, or something like that. It's like that. It's like the older you get, the more mature you're going to be. But there's going to be a time for pulling the trigger. There's going to be a time for exploring and not, being in the moment fully. That is part of your alchemical journey. Because you have an inner Shiva Shakti as well as an outer. You can have sex with a partner, but ultimately we're supposed to be coming into balance with ourselves, seeking karmic balance. Internally as within, externally as without, as above, so below. You get the gist. So, this card encourages you to do the same, to basically learn from your past, not think of them as regrets. Be like, why did that happen? What can I learn from this? Instead of beating yourself up. Everybody makes choices. You could say they're preordained, or you could say we had free will, some combination therein. But the point is, you got to learn from them. And if you don't learn from them, you'll repeat them. And if you repeat them, you're going to get stuck in that youth card. And we're meant to mature. That's just how it is, right? Seek balance in your relationships karmically, internally as well as externally. A Pleiadian guide is most likely assisting you with this. Shout out, where you at? Guides help. Take an honest look at your repeating challenges and know that karma is at work. These obstacles are gifts to help you move to the next level of your growth. Embrace them and open to the lesson they are teaching you. Life's a school. We're always learning. Remember that. When the Pleiadians were a young species, they made many choices they regretted. Double Gemini life, you know how many fucking choices I've made that I've regretted? Many. But I can't look back with regret. I have to ask, why did I make these places? Why wasn't I in balance? Where was I out of balance? Where was I not loving myself and others? Where was I being too impetuous and too, the folly of youth, quote, so to speak, and coming to balance with that, Sun and Libra, and being practical and real with it, Capricorn moon, right? Venus and Virgo is like, yo, are you living a healthy life? Yes, you can do whatever you want, but like, are you destroying yourself? I'm watching this awesome anime actually called Carol and Tuesday. It's not a typical anime. It's about music and Mars and a duo girl and all sorts of cool shit. Really good music on there. Considering it's pop, it's like future pop. It's awesome. And at one level, spacing on what I was trying to say. Why was I bringing that up? Oh, I forget. Anyway, even that, Carol and Tuesday, balance of a karmic relationship there. Check it out. It's a good anime. This created karma for many of them and the species as a whole, but as they evolved, they learned to balance this karma by getting wisdom about their past actions. You make choices, and you live with the consequences, right? It is what it is, but try to learn. This card refers to the era in which the Pleiadians matured as a species, and even you could say youth is a level of maturing, right? Where it's like, yo, I'm not like sucking from mom's tit anymore. I'm going to go do my own thing. I got to provide for myself. Me and my dog here are going to go check out those mountains, right? Like, that is beautiful. Like, he's in an alchemical stage of his own becoming, and he gets to see more greatly and more deeply into the mystery of life. Maybe at some point he'll find a chick or whatever. I mean, right now he's a companion with his dog, but the point is he'll alchemize in a new way and come to new levels of epiphany. We've got to find balance in these relationships with ourselves and others. So they learned the lessons of their past and became committed to... Oh my God, I've lost my place. They learned the lessons of their past and became committed to helping other younger species avoid making the same mistakes they did in their past. We could tell, a senior in high school can tell the freshman, yo, don't drink and drive. I almost killed myself, or my friend died and did that. So it's youth talking to youth in a sense. Youth talking to youth. Youth talking to youth. Libra scales, balance, communication. This is one of the many reasons why they interact with humans in the present, because they're trying to tell us what not to do. Like, here's some advice. They're not telling, we have free will, but they're giving us their lessons. This is one of the many reasons they interact with humans in the present. If this card comes up you're reading, perhaps you have a Pleiadian lifetime in the past when they were a young species and you're now balancing that karma out. Or perhaps you have a connection with a Pleiadian being from the mature present era who's working with you now by giving you wisdom and guidance. Look to the other cards for clues. It may also be possible that you're balancing karma in general. I feel that. With Mercury in Scorpio in retrograde and Mars in Aries in retrograde. We're really kind of having a reassessment. We're like, whoa, what have I done? This is a review in a sense. We're like, where was I going with all that stuff? Like, was I being stupid? Was I is it time now? Look to the other cards for clues. It may also be possible that you're balancing karma in general and your soul desires to stop repeating old patterns from the past. Heard? This is a clear message to look at your life and your actions clearly and do whatever you can to stop repeating old destructive patterns. Always remember that wisdom neutralizes karma, for in gaining the wisdom of lessons from the past, future actions are made from a conscious place, and this is the ultimate way to balance karma. Right? You can't change the past, you can only learn from it. You can only get better and better in that tantric sex, right? In the sense. And you're doing it through punctuation events in a youthful way, exploring new terrain. If you've done something all always in one way, try another way. Maybe the other way is the opposite side of the scale, the Libra sun, and it's time to balance the karma. It's like, oh, if you're always drunk, maybe have a year of sobriety, or if you're always sober, it's like, go to Margaritaville once. Check it out. See what I'm saying? And I'm not even into drinking right now particularly, but it's like, do you see what I'm saying? I use these substances as analogies a lot because I've had a very hedonistic life. Psychedelics rule. Alcohol has its place, I guess. But you have to be in a really balanced and mature place to use these things without destroying yourself and others, physically, emotionally, spiritually, etc. We've got transformation. Talk about alchemy, right? Transformation is what? Seeking karmic balance. That's the transformative kind of element there, right? It's like, oh, let's make this work, transform it. These guys are loving each other in and through like Tantra and alchemy to transform. Alchemy is transformation writ large. The youth is what? Transforming from child to man or woman, whatever the gender case may be in your stance, or any other, the number adjectives that are there. This is number 18, which is ironically the legal age to drink and shoot guns and vote. The youth is no longer a child, it's a youth, young adult, when they're 18. So we have some number resonance there. So sea otter, one of my favorite animals, quite frankly, super playful. Haley just sent me a video of an otter doing some crazy shit, and she's like, I'd have that otter. I would own an otter, but I'm like at a point where it's like, is owning an animal really helpful, or is that selfish? Transformation is a true constant if we allow it. Alchemy is always occurring. It's never not happening. We just have to figure out what our level of the equation is and adapt to it. It's always what's it called in music when it's like call and response, right? Like life calls to us and we respond. That's the youth. It's like, oh, there's an adventure, I'll go. And then if we get too embroiled in the adventure, life goes chill out, and then we go, okay, I'll respond. See, we're transforming through what? Life. And it's constant if we allow it. We can change our future and we can learn from our past. Seeking karmic balance, anyone? Right? We should only try to transform ourselves, not someone else, as this is against free will. That causes a lot of consternation. Trust me, be careful with that. Do not judge others too quickly or harshly. Relax a little and rise. Be playful like an otter. Mythos. The Welsh goddess Ceridwen was a master potions maker and queen of transformation. She was potions, alchemy, right? Magic, alchemy. She was often busy over a huge cauldron that contained great bubbling potions to heal, change, or create. Ceridwen had a son, Morfrin, who was very ugly. Although she could not change this, she decided to magically grant him deep wisdom as a kind of recompense. She's like, you're hideous, but we'll make you smart. Wise. To do this, though, took much time and expertise, and the potion was complex and had to be boiled and stirred nonstop for a year and a day. Should the potion grow too cool or stodgy, it would fail. The potion was also very dangerous. Only the first 3 drops imbibed would work, and the rest would kill instantly. That reminds me of drinking. It's like a couple drinks is fine, go too far, and you die. It's like you'll regret blacking out and, losing all your money or virginity or whatever the fuck, right? So, or your liver. The first couple puffs, fine. After that, oh my God, what are you doing? So, to help, Saradwin, she found a young boy, Guion, who had to stir and keep the fire burning when she could not. She had an alchemical partner. And the cauldron is the waters, right? 2 cups. This alchemy that they're creating, seeking balance in relationships. She's like, yo, I can't always do this, so I need your help. And she got, a youth to do it. You guys see how magical these cards is? So I want you to see this. All the resonance. It doth display itself. As a Gemini, I'm like, you see what I'm saying, right? You see what I'm saying? So, on the last day of brewing, in the last day of brewing, and today is the last day of Libra season, so interesting sync there linguistically. In the early morning, when Guion was stirring the pot, the cauldron bubbled some 3 drops of hot potion onto his thumb. Without thinking, he licked the potion from his thumb and instantly became wise. All of the wisdom meant for more for him flowed into Guion. Frightened and knowing that Saradwin would be angry, Guion ran away. Trouble in the Libra scales. But Saradwin saw what happened and chased the boy. This is Mercury in Scorpio. It's like obsessive thinking. It's like, I'm going to find you. I'm going to stalk you, right? She saw what happened and chased him. The potion made Guion magical, and he was able to transform into a hare, but Saradwin turned into a racing hound to catch him. Mars in retrograde, right? It's like the actions are like met with resistance. It's like, I got to get out of here. She's like, I'm going to meet you there. It's hardcore, right? I just see some like smiling, Juanita, what up? I was like, what is that? And it's very anime, very cute. Okay, I was like, oh my gosh. The potion made Guion magical, and he was able to transform into a hare, but Saradwin turned into a racing greyhound to catch him. Reaching the sea, Guion turned into a fish, but Saradwin transformed into a sea otter. Mars in retrograde. It's like, your actions are going to be thwarted here. You can't quite get away. Guion leapt up into the air and turned into a swallow, so Saradwin became a hunting hawk, and finally Guion turned himself into a single grain of corn, and Saradwin transformed herself into a hen and ate him. Saradwin went home, but soon found she was pregnant. She just knew it had to be fathered by that Guion. Interesting logic chain there. And decided that once born, she would kill the child. That is some Mercury and Scorpio stuffs. A boy child was born, but was so fair of face she could not master the resolve to end his life. Sun in Libra. It's like, oh, you're beautiful. I won't hurt you. Instead, and it's very practical. She's like, instead she sewed him inside a leather bag and floated him off to the ocean. Moon in Capricorn. It's like, I won't kill you, but I'm going to send you on a journey here, I guess. The child did not die, for it was saved by the sea otters. And that nursed him upon their bellies and took him to shore. A human prince found the child and raised him in his royal household, and he became the famous poet Taliesin. Interesting origin story there. Marvel isn't the first one to do this, right? The animal, the first sea otter I ever saw, was happily breaking a crab open on his belly with a small stone just off the shore on the coast of the Eastern Pacific Ocean. Eastern Pacific, you have to realize, she's coming on the podcast, Stacey DeMarco, on November 1st or 2nd, I forget. But she's in Australia. That's what I was getting at. It's like Eastern Pacific, sure, that's kind of, not Americans don't think of that for sure. Or even South Americans. He was in the part of the ocean that was calm, the sun was setting, and for all intents and purposes, he looked like a human being having a last swim before it got dark while enjoying the colors of the fiery sunset. The last swim before it got dark, enjoying the beauty before it gets dark. Last day of Libra before Scorpio season. Can I get a what? Sea otters are mammals that live in close offshore habitats. Although they live in cold waters, they do not store much fat, staying warm with a thick fur pelt that resists water. Their back feet are fully webbed to propel them through the water. They are one of the few animals to use tools. They levered rocks off the shoreline and used them to open shells of prey and to smash crabs to get at the meat. Some otters have a favorite rock they take with them and use over and over. Aw, it's Capricorn moon. It's like, I've got a favorite thing and I'm going to use it because it's really helpful and it's my favorite rock. It's number 1 in the world. Number 1 rock. Capricorn moon. They quite delightfully carry their babies on their chests and bellies while floating face up in the water, and they link arms with other sea otters for stability while sleeping. Is that not a beautiful little picture for the last day in Libra? I'll just kind of like sleeping, arms linked. One of my favorite animals. Haley, I want to get a sea otter. Just get it on your fucking to-do list. Realize, like, yes, we'll have cats and dogs, no children. This will be my child, my sea otter baby. There's a personality test between like dogs, lion, all this shit, and sea otter. And it's like, I'm a sea otter. I'm playful, but I'm also a golden retriever, which was loyal and like diligent and all that stuff. So enough about me. Two of Cups is today's card. We're going to be coming into some balance alchemically within as without. It is a part of an initiation. It's a journey. We're going from, immature to mature through the what? Through the youth. We're seeking karmic balance. It's not about being a kid anymore. It's about being an adult, but about an adult who knows how to have fun. Like this guy isn't just sitting in a chapel, saying prayers to God. He's out in nature and maybe having, an acid trip or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like he's pushing the envelope, fucking some random chick at a hostel. I'm not suggesting you should do this, but youth has exploration at the hilt. And what we're exploring is our inner alchemy, right? And our alchemy with others, our relationship. Last day in Libra, we have a chance to really see how to seek balance and karmically to transform, right? Because we're going into Scorpio season, and Scorpio is about magic, alchemy, death, transformation, high magic, high transformation. So here we're going into it. Like there's no getting around it. And for the last day in Libra, we got Artemisia Gentileschi, or Gentileschi. This actually is an interesting card to come up because it shows how to seek karmic balance. She was trying to do it like, a woman against the man, essentially, back in the day, artistically. Check it. Here we go. Artemisia Gentileschi, 1593 to 1656, so a long time ago in Italy. Artemisia Gentileschi put a crack in the Baroque ceiling by painting one in collaboration with her artist father. Collaborations, right? Seventh house, Libra, Sun. And she was, painting huge, like, artistic things with her famous father, artist, Capricorn Moon. They're doing an awesome job, right? Though denied important artistic education and experience on account of being female, talk about seeking karmic balance, right? The patriarch is like, nah, you're a chick. No, thank you. It's like, that's not good. She still pursued figure painting inspired by works of family friend, ! Caravaggio. Moon in Capricorn. She had high level of achievement, in her circles. Her dramatic, sometimes violent works saw immediate recognition, but were then neglected until the 1970s. Feminists stepped in. As a teenager, Gentileschi took her art instructor to trial in a high-profile rape case. She won, but not without going through hell. Once again, seeking karmic balance, right? She was like, I was offended, and now I will put you in jail, right? That would be the shadow of the Two of Cups. It's like, someone's being raped here. It's like, oh, shit, that's not good balance. Not good alchemy, bro. And she rectified the alchemy by what? Stepping into her power, Capricorn Moon, and bringing justice to the situation, Sun and Libra. Or I said Moon and Capricorn, Sun and Libra. What was that? Oh, gosh. Just making a mess. Hold on. Dropping cards and shit. I'll deal with this later. All right, so sorry about that. She took her art instructor to trial in a high-profile rape case, and she won, but not without going through hell. Some read her biography into her subsequent paintings, which often depict biblical heroines kicking ass and taking heads. Retribution, right? Mercury and Scorpio. It's like, I will get you. I'm gonna get you, sucker. I'm gonna tell the truth. I'm gonna tell the dark secret. You raped me, or whatever, right? Bringing balance to the relationship. So the idea is Sun and Libra, last day of Libra. History has your back. Society stabs you in it. Right? So you got to do your own alchemy. You can't do things for others necessarily, right? Like you can't worry about what other people think. You're on your own trip, and you're going to come to levels of actualization through that, right? History has your back. Society doesn't. This guy's like, fuck society. The world doesn't have my back, but like, oh my gosh, the mountains are eternal. Yay. He's seeking karmic balance, right? Leaving a very protective, structured, maybe governed situation home, Capricorn Moon, and finding his balance in the world, Sun and Libra. By going out there and pursuing his ideals. What is health for him? What is beauty for him? What is practical for him? Venus and Virgo. Transformation is all about the season we're in right now. I mean, there's a lot of astrological stuff happening. We're switching, Libra to Scorpio season, but on top of that, Schumann resonance, free blackouts, election craziness happening, whether it's computer revelations or whatever. It's insane times. We're in transformative times. Don't doubt it. History has your back. Society stabs you in it. So it's like, do you, and history will be like, that's what all we asked you to do, is to be you and to alchemize in a balanced way. Don't please others past a point. because they don't care anyway. Like, they're worried about their actualization, if that makes sense. Society is a bunch of people who are kind of meerkatting, looking at each other for approval. It's like, you have to love yourself before you're never going to fully please anybody else. So don't strive for that. Society's not ever going to fully accept you. And in a weird way, we build up idols to tear them down. So it's like, people will be like, hell yeah. Wait, fuck him. It's like, don't worry about that. History has your back. Be authentic to yourself. We're getting topaz as the stone. You can quantumly entangle with this beauty and know that you're, literally, scientists would say, we're quantumly entangled non-locally. So you have this in your presence, whether you have it physically or not. Topaz, what it is. Topaz is the world's hardest silicon-based mineral. Talk about moon and Capricorn, the hardest mineral, right? Emotionally hard. Its name alludes to the Sanskrit word for fire. In the Middle Ages, it was believed to cure crazy. Who needs it? Anyone burning A, the midnight oil, B, the candle at both ends, C, bridges, D, all of the above. Heard. And burning the candle at both ends would be like the shadow of Libra, essentially. Where to put it? Wherever the action needs to happen. When to use it? When you're aiming in the right direction but keep misfiring. Passion is totally indispensable, but if you're not careful with it, it might burn you up. That's the youth, right? Like, you need passion, but you might end up hurting yourself without, like, restraint. So having karmic balance, being balanced emotionally, 2 of Cups, goes a long way in that transformation otter process. Call on Topaz to transform wild obsessions into laser-like focus and burning desires into getting things done. That's some Venus and Virgo shit. It's like, passion's great. Hone it. Pleasure's great. Do it sometimes, not all the time. Like, you can't just live in orgies, or you can't just live in a fucking, on acid, right? I mean, you could try, but that's the folly of youth. You could try these things and you'll find out very quickly it's not the way. Increase your firepower. And we're being called into being catalyzers of firepower. That's what tantric alchemy is all about. We have firepower. We have innate magic. Learning that magic is the process of going from innocence to experience, and that middle point is like, an experienced fool card, you could say, is the youth. It's like, yo, I'm figuring things out. So it's like a very page energy. It's not a king or a queen, but it ain't like, a 2 of Cups, the very beginning of things. So it's the youth. It's starting things out. Seek karmic balance. If you've been making the same mistakes over and over, maybe don't repeat those mistakes. Learn from them. Try to transform. That's what we're in, a school. We're the youth of what? Life. And we're in a school called Earth School, and this is where we are. History has your back. Society stabs you in it. You can't please the world, so don't try. History prefers people who are authentically themselves as opposed to people who are just cuckolds to the rest of the world, right? So it's like, yo, do your thing. Be just. She was unpopular at the time because she was a woman saying this guy raped me, but she was right. That's why feminists were like, oh, yeah, she's cool. It's like, history has got her back. Whereas society at that point did not have her back. They're like, you're a woman, you can't paint. Or, oh, you're no one listens to women in rape cases, you're making this shit up. Or whatever they used to do, right? Topaz is saying to increase your firepower. She increased her firepower and transformed her world and the world around it. So don't think your quantumly entangled effects in the alchemical process have no bearing. They do. Everything we do, as above, so below, as within, so without. So it's really tricky times, but we can get through this too, I promise. Ooh. Phi Islands, Thailand is on my background right now, and that's beautiful. I'd love to check out Thailand one day. Mountains on water is my thing. All right, so I'm going to play a song on acoustic just because I am in a weird... I just want to play acoustic. I don't know. Don't ask. So... This is an old song from my childhood. I mean, my my youth. My super childhood. By Third Eye Blind. I haven't thought about this in forever, and it was on my head earlier, so I'm going to play it. Semi-Charm Kind of Life. Oh, gosh. I'm packed and I'm holding. I'm smiling. She's living. She's loving. She lives for me. She says she... Oh, God, I can't rap. Maybe this is a horrible idea. She said she lives for me. Ovation. Her own motivation, she comes round and she comes down on me, and I make her smile like a drug for you. Do ever what you want to do, coming over you. Keep on smiling what we go through. One stop to the rhythm that divides you, and I speak to you like the chorus of the verse. Chop another line like a coda with a curse. Come on like a freak show, take the stage. We give in the game. we play. She said, oh my gosh, last day of Libra. Could I not be less? This is the least balanced I could be. I want something else to get me through this semi-charm kind of life. Baby, baby, I want something else. I'm not listening when you say goodbye. The sky was gold, it was rose. I was taking tips up through my nose, and I wish I could get back there, someplace back there, smiling the pictures you would take. Doing crystal meth will oh my god, I forgot that was in there. Doing crystal meth will lift you up until you break. Talk about the youth card. It won't stop. I won't come down till I keep stock with the tick-tock rhythm. A bump for the... I've lost my place mentally. Hold on. Then I get bumped. I took it like... I took that I was hit... I bumped up. And I took the hit I was given, and I bumped again, and I bumped again. She said, how do I get back there to the place where I fell asleep inside you? How do I get myself back the place where you said I want something else to get me through this semi-charm kind of life? Baby, baby, I want something else. Not listening when you say goodbye. I believe in the sand beneath my toes. The beach gives a feeling, an earthy feeling. I believe in the faith that grows. And for the and the four right chords can make me cry. When I'm with you, I feel like I could die, and I will be alright, alright. And I want... I've totally lost my place. There's some rap verse that I totally spaced on. You guys are getting an interesting show today. I'm like, hey, how disorganized can I be in a sober state? You'd think I was on crystal meth, right? Anyway, here we are. So, I want something else to get me through this life, baby. I want something else. Not listening when you say goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. The sky was gold, it was rose. I was taking tips up through my nose, and I wish I could get back there, someplace back there, in the place we used to start. I want something else. Or something. Jesus Christ, that was... Good thing I'm not a Virgo, right? I was like, that was not perfect, but that's fine. Double Gemini life, whatevs. It's like I should probably think about the song I'm going to cover before I cover it. Derpadelphia. Flip, Philadelphia. Derpadelphia. Anyway, 2 of Cups is what we got, right? This person saying, I want to go back to that place where we could die in each other's arms, and oh my God, we're doing all this stuff, and it feels like we're high as fuck, and like, let's get back there. What? To the intimacy, to the place we want to be, right? But a lot of those lyrics were expressing, like, you know, making mistakes, essentially. It's like, oh, I'm on high on meth, and I'm going to do it until I fucking have withdrawals. It's like, oh, boy, you're going to learn from those mistakes. Try to seek karmic balance. That's not always the good look, right? It is what it is. So you're going to find yourself in a place where you're learning, if you choose to learn, or you're either going to feel like you're learning, or you're in summer school and you don't want to be there. Those are the only options, really. Transform amongst the times. You have the power to do so, just as Artemisia did. She accused, somebody raped her, and she's like, oh my God, he's a rapist, and they tried him and he got guilty. It's like she didn't have to do that. She stood in her power, Capricorn moon, emotionally, stoic, in order to find what? Sun and Libra justice, right? And this is saying increase your firepower, Topaz. We're here to shoot all the bullets in our holster wisely. Hit the target. You don't want to just be like, yeehaw! It's like, yo, aim at something and shoot and hit it. That's what we're here for. It's a school. So take your power back, like Artemisia, and then shoot and aim for a target. Aim at something. Have focus. And you will find when you do that, the world responds to you, your partner responds to you, you respond to yourself, and magic happens. Alchemy, baby. Enjoy the ride, as this youth I'm sure is. Do it in a wise way, seeking balance in yourself and others karmically, and in relationships with others. Transform, that's what we're kind of doing. Alchemy is the name of the game. History has your back. Society does not. It stabs you in it. So don't just do the things that are popular now. Like, I mean, there's girls that are killing themselves all the time because of social media, right? This is one of the things that the documentary called The Social Dilemma was getting into. It's like young women are vastly hurting themselves more because they're trying to fit into society. History, when they get to a point out of youth, ironically, they'll come to a place and be like, yo, why did I care what Becky thought? Oh my God, she said some mean snide comment on Instagram. Oh my God, it's like she's not going to be crushed by that. She's got to stand up for herself and move through it, not what society, I hear her peers and others think. Increase your firepower, be yourself, do your thing, be yourself with songs you love, even if you fuck them up like I just did. Who cares? Whoa, I'm dropping things left and right. Mercury is dolphinally in retrograde. Hopefully that all made sense. And thanks, Lind. Yeah, we are in this together. Love yourself, love others. Do what you got to do and hang in there because we're going to win. Love wins. Have a good day.